The Intergalactic Survival Academy was known across the galaxy for offering one of the toughest and most intense survival courses ever created. It was designed to replicate the harshest and most dangerous environments throughout the galaxy, testing participants' abilities to adapt to new challenges. Every year, it became a proving ground for species hailing from peaceful, technologically advanced worlds. The participants came with the best tech their species could offer, ready to face extreme climates, dangerous wildlife, and limited resources. For the first time, humans were invited to participate. The instructors, along with alien students, were skeptical of this new development despite Earth's reputation as a death world, a planet teeming with dangerous life forms and unpredictable environments. Most aliens doubted humans could survive without advanced survival technology, dismissing Earth's reputation as exaggerated. They thought humans, though tough, were too under-equipped to handle the Academy's extreme survival conditions. After all, the course wasn't just about raw endurance, it involved strategy, technology, and precision. When the humans arrived, the difference between them and the alien participants was clear. The humans, from diverse backgrounds, some military personnel, explorers, and a few scientists, lacked the sleek, advanced gear that the alien students brought. The aliens, from high-tech, peaceful worlds, relied on gadgets, sensors, and biosuits to optimize body performance in hostile conditions. To them, the human group seemed grossly unprepared, armed with what appeared to be primitive equipment and an overconfidence that baffled them. The humans, however, were unaware of this quiet judgment. They were excited by the challenge, eager to face whatever the Academy had in store. They had spent years surviving on Earth, a planet known for its harsh environments, and saw this as another opportunity to prove their adaptability. Their relaxed, confident demeanor surprised both the alien instructors and students. There was no tension in their body language, no signs of worry. Some aliens even questioned if the humans fully understood the severity of what they were about to face. The instructors gathered everyone for the initial briefing, laying out the rules for the survival course. The program involved increasingly dangerous survival scenarios, each designed to simulate the worst environments across the galaxy. The instructors made it clear that the course was not to be taken lightly. Students had failed and even been injured in the past. They emphasized the strategic use of advanced technology as key to overcoming the challenges. The humans listened carefully, but their quiet smiles hinted that they weren't as concerned as the instructors expected. The first scenario was set in an extreme desert environment on a distant planet, known for its blistering heat and lack of resources. The goal was to survive for several days with minimal supplies, avoiding dehydration and heat stroke while navigating the vast landscape. The alien students, as expected, had come prepared with advanced cooling suits and hydration systems that monitored their vitals and kept them comfortable despite the oppressive heat. Their technology regulated body temperatures and ensured they stayed hydrated, removing much of the mental and physical burden of survival. The humans, however, relied on instinct. They didn't have fancy cooling systems or hydration suits, but began using survival techniques honed on Earth. Almost immediately, they started digging shallow pits in the ground to shield themselves from the worst of the heat. They used their clothing creatively, fashioning makeshift head coverings and layering to minimize direct exposure to the sun. As the alien students stood in their high-tech suits watching curiously, the humans calmly rationed their water and conserved energy for when it would be most needed. As time passed, the difference in survival approaches became more evident. While the aliens' technology initially seemed to give them an advantage, some began to struggle as their systems malfunctioned in the intense heat. A few found their cooling units unable to keep up with the desert's extremes, and hydration systems that were supposed to automatically provide water overcompensated, leaving some students with dangerously low reserves. Meanwhile, the humans remained relatively comfortable. Their methods, though simple, were tried and tested. The shallow pits provided cooler temperatures beneath the surface, and their clothing strategies kept them from overheating. By the end of the exercise, the humans appeared the least affected by the desert's brutal conditions. They were calm and composed, a stark contrast to some of the alien students who, despite their advanced gear, were visibly tired and dehydrated. The instructors, observing from a distance, were perplexed. The humans hadn't used any advanced technology yet had outperformed several other species. How had they done it so easily? The humans, for their part, were unaware of the stir they had caused. To them, it was just another survival scenario, challenging, yes, but not insurmountable. They didn't think much of it, but to the aliens, it was unexpected. Some of the students began to murmur among themselves, trying to figure out how the humans had managed to perform so well with such basic tools. Many of the aliens still chalked it up to beginner's luck. Surely the next scenario would reveal the humans' weaknesses. They couldn't possibly continue to succeed without the advanced technology the alien students had come to rely on. But what the aliens didn't realize was that this was just the beginning of the humans' impressive performance. What they considered luck was actually the influence of Earth, a planet whose brutal, unpredictable environments had turned humans into natural survivors. The next challenges would only further demonstrate this truth. The second challenge took place in a simulated jungle environment designed to test the participants' ability to evade apex predators from across the galaxy. These predators were modeled after some of the deadliest creatures known to the various species represented in the course. Each predator had different hunting methods. Some stalked their prey silently, while others used overwhelming force. Each student was required to navigate this environment without becoming prey. The alien students, once again equipped with their advanced tech, were confident. Their suits had sensors that would detect predators long before they became visible, and some even had cloaking devices to help them blend into their surroundings. The humans, however, lacked such gadgets. Their primitive appearance, without high-tech gear, led the aliens to believe they were at a significant disadvantage. Without cloaking or detection systems, how could the humans avoid the apex predators? But what the aliens didn't know was that humans were no strangers to dangerous predators. Earth had been home to countless apex creatures for millennia, and human evolution had been shaped by the need to survive in such hostile environments. While the aliens trusted their technology, the humans relied on instinct, awareness, and teamwork. From the moment the test began, the humans behaved differently. Instead of relying on devices to scan for predators, they used their senses. One human, a former wilderness guide, took the lead. She noticed subtle signs that the alien students were missing tracks in the dirt, broken branches, and shifts in the wind that hinted at a nearby predator. While the alien students focused on their sensor displays, the humans listened to the sounds of the jungle, observed animal movements, and read environmental cues, much like their ancestors had for generations. The humans communicated using hand signals and whispers, moving cautiously and staying alert to their surroundings. Meanwhile, the alien students, trusting their cloaking devices and sensors, were more relaxed, assuming their technology would keep them safe. But things didn't go as smoothly for them. For some of the aliens, their technology became more of a hindrance. A few sensors malfunctioned in the dense jungle, and the cloaking devices, designed for specific light and temperature ranges, struggled with the jungle's thick foliage and shifting light. Several alien students found themselves dangerously close to predators without realizing it until it was almost too late. One student's cloaking suit even flickered off briefly, nearly making them prey, saved only by quick-thinking companions. In contrast, the humans took a different approach to predators. They avoided confrontation by predicting predator movements, using their knowledge of animal behavior. Instead of waiting for their tech to alert them, they used environmental cues to navigate. At one point, they even managed to mislead a predator by mimicking a smaller animal's call, diverting it away from their path. This adaptability and awareness weren't something machines could replicate. Throughout the challenge, the humans continued evading danger, blending into the environment and working together seamlessly. They even exploited their knowledge of predator behavior to distract creatures, unintentionally leading them toward alien students. The aliens, reliant on malfunctioning tech, found themselves at risk. The humans didn't need advanced gear, they simply outsmarted both the predators and their fellow students. The instructors, observing from afar, noticed the growing contrast between the humans and the others. How were the humans, using only basic survival techniques, outperforming their peers with cutting-edge technology? They took notes, intrigued by the humans' simple yet effective methods: camouflage, strategic movement, and environmental awareness. But the results were undeniable. The humans had turned the jungle into an advantage, while the aliens struggled despite their high-tech gear. Meanwhile, the alien students were growing increasingly frustrated. How were the humans accomplishing this? To the aliens, survival was a matter of relying on superior technology, yet here were the humans surviving with what appeared to be nothing more than instinct and experience. A few alien students began to wonder if perhaps the stories about Earth being a death world weren't so exaggerated after all. Still, most of them chalked it up to luck, though that belief was beginning to waver. The humans, on the other hand, remained unaware of the confusion and frustration building among their alien peers. To them, they were simply following standard survival protocols. Using the environment and relying on teamwork came naturally, ingrained in their training from years of surviving Earth's wilderness. They weren't trying to prove a point, they were just doing what made sense to them. As the jungle challenge drew to a close, the humans had not only survived but thrived in the simulated environment. In contrast, many of the alien students who had depended heavily on their technology were either struggling or barely holding on. The instructors were now paying close attention to the humans. What had started as skepticism had turned into open intrigue. It was becoming increasingly clear that the humans were operating on a different level than their alien counterparts. This wasn't beginner's luck. The humans were demonstrating a level of resilience, instinct, and adaptability that few other species possessed. As the challenge concluded, the humans gathered together, relaxed and chatting about their experience, while the alien students were left questioning everything they thought they knew about survival. What had once seemed like an advantage, their reliance on technology, was beginning to feel like a crutch compared to the humans' natural instincts. And the humans, still unaware of the realization dawning on their peers, were simply preparing for the next challenge, confident that their experience on Earth had prepared them for anything. The third challenge was even more grueling: an endurance trek through a frozen wasteland. This scenario was designed to test the physical and mental limits of each participant. The environment was unforgiving, with sub-zero temperatures, constant snowstorms reducing visibility, and limited food resources. The objective was to cover a vast distance while surviving on minimal supplies and battling the elements. It wasn't just a test of strength, but of mental stamina, the ability to keep going when exhaustion and cold threatened to overwhelm. The alien students approached this challenge with their usual confidence in their technology. They were equipped with advanced thermal suits that regulated body temperature, hover sleds to help them traverse the snow-covered terrain, and rations engineered to maximize energy. Their gear was designed to make the trek as efficient as possible, minimizing the need for physical endurance. Once again, they saw the humans with their basic gear as ill-prepared. The humans, however, approached the challenge with a different mindset. They lacked high-tech thermal suits and hover sleds, but relied on more traditional methods. They layered their clothing to trap heat, rationed their food carefully, and mentally prepared themselves for the long journey ahead. For the humans, survival in harsh environments was nothing new. Earth's deserts, mountains, and tundras had taught them the importance of pacing themselves and conserving energy in extreme conditions. As the trek began, the difference in strategy became evident. The humans moved steadily, maintaining a slow but consistent pace. They shared survival techniques learned from Earth, pacing themselves to avoid burning out too quickly, setting short-term goals to stay focused, and keeping morale up through conversation and humor. These mental strategies helped them push forward, even as the cold began to take its toll. The alien students, initially moving faster with the help of their hover sleds and advanced thermal suits, began to show signs of strain as the trek dragged on. The extreme cold and endless snow started wearing down their mental resolve. Some became frustrated when their suits malfunctioned, and others, despite their technology, started to feel the effects of fatigue. Having never experienced prolonged exposure to such harsh conditions, they struggled to adapt. Meanwhile, the humans remained steady. They had expected the cold to be brutal and had prepared mentally for it. They took turns keeping each other motivated, broke the journey into manageable segments, and conserved energy by grouping together for warmth when resting, primitive tactics in the eyes of the aliens but highly effective. Every movement was deliberate, aimed at conserving strength for the long journey ahead. As the hours turned into days, the alien students began to falter. Their technology, which had given them an initial advantage, was no longer enough to compensate for the mental and physical stamina required to survive the cold. Some students who had never known true discomfort in their technologically advanced societies struggled with the constant exposure to the elements. Their thermal suits, though effective at first, couldn't provide the mental toughness needed to endure the isolation and exhaustion. The humans, however, thrived in the frozen wasteland. They managed their energy wisely, stayed resilient, and used mental toughness as much as physical strength to keep moving. They adjusted their pace based on the conditions, slowing down when necessary but never stopping completely. To them, this was just another harsh environment, similar to Earth's frozen tundras or high-altitude mountains. The lessons they had learned on Earth, conserving body heat, avoiding overexertion, and rationing supplies, proved invaluable. By the time the endurance trek ended, the humans were in better shape than many of the alien students. While some aliens had faltered or even collapsed, relying too much on technology that eventually failed them, the humans were still going strong. They had conserved their energy, maintained their focus, and stayed resilient despite the brutal conditions. Their mental fortitude had carried them through where technology had fallen short. The instructors, who had initially viewed the humans with skepticism, were now openly impressed. They had underestimated the human ability to survive without advanced tools. What they had seen as primitive techniques were actually highly effective methods of survival, honed over centuries of dealing with Earth's harsh environments. The humans didn't need fancy tech, they had instincts, experience, and the ability to endure discomfort. For the first time, the instructors began to consider that Earth's reputation as a death world might not have been exaggerated after all. The alien students, on the other hand, were divided. Some were resentful, frustrated by their own struggles and surprised by how the humans had outperformed them. Others were curious, starting to ask the humans for advice on how they managed to stay so resilient. They realized that the human approach, though simple, was far more effective in environments where technology couldn't solve every problem. Slowly, some of the alien students began adopting human techniques, layering their clothing more effectively, setting small goals, and mentally preparing for the worst. The humans, unaware of how much attention they were attracting, continued to approach the course with the same steady determination. For them, survival wasn't about having the best gear, it was about using what you had, relying on your team, and pushing through when things got tough. Their performance in the endurance trek had once again demonstrated that human resilience wasn't something that could be easily measured by technology. It was something deeper, something that came from a lifetime of adapting to one of the most unpredictable and dangerous planets in the galaxy. The final survival challenge took place on a simulated toxic planet. The planet's atmosphere was filled with poisonous gases, its plants laced with toxins, and the weather shifted unpredictably from acid rain to scorching heat. This test was designed to simulate survival on a world where every resource had to be carefully managed and every decision could mean life or death. Alien students, outfitted with environmental suits equipped with filtration systems, portable water purifiers, and nutrient packs, felt confident their tech would keep them safe. But as the scenario progressed, their tech began to fail. When the weather shifted, bringing a storm of acid rain, some alien students panicked. Their reliance on gear left them vulnerable when it malfunctioned. The humans, however, remained calm. They had anticipated the toxic atmosphere would be challenging but relied on instinct. Makeshift shelters, rudimentary filtration systems, and careful observation of the environment allowed them to adapt. While the alien students struggled with their gear, the humans used simple survival techniques honed on Earth to outlast their peers. By the end, the humans had once again proven that their adaptability and resourcefulness were more effective than advanced technology in survival situations. By the conclusion of the final challenge, the results were undeniable. The humans had once again outperformed their alien counterparts, thriving in an environment that should have overwhelmed them. Not only had they survived, but they had quickly adapted, turning the planet's toxic conditions into an advantage. In contrast, the alien students were left exhausted and frustrated, with their dependence on technology proving to be a double-edged sword. When their advanced gear worked, it gave them an edge, but when it failed, they were left helpless. The humans, by comparison, had relied on their natural instincts and survival skills, managing to succeed without the need for complex tools. As the final test wrapped up, the instructors gathered to review the results. They had been skeptical of the humans from the start, viewing their reliance on basic survival techniques as outdated in a galaxy filled with advanced technology. However, the course results spoke for themselves. In every scenario, whether it was surviving the desert heat, evading predators, enduring the frozen wasteland, or adapting to a toxic environment, the humans had consistently outperformed the alien students. The instructors were beginning to reconsider their initial impressions. What they had dismissed as primitive tactics were actually highly effective survival strategies, honed through centuries of dealing with Earth's extreme and unpredictable environments. The humans didn't rely on fancy tech, they thrived on instinct, experience, and the ability to endure discomfort in ways the alien students had never anticipated. The instructors, still somewhat in disbelief, declared the human students the top performers of the survival course. They had shown incredible adaptability, resilience, and an unmatched ability to thrive in conditions that would have defeated most species. It wasn't just about physical endurance, though they had plenty of that. It was about their resourcefulness, their ability to think on their feet, and their willingness to adapt to whatever the environment threw at them. The humans, who had entered the course as underdogs, had emerged as clear winners. They accepted the praise with modesty, somewhat confused by the attention they were receiving. For them, the survival scenarios had been challenging but not impossible, not unlike the survival situations they had faced on Earth. They hadn't fully understood the alien students' dependence on technology or the surprise their success had caused. For the humans, they had simply been doing what came naturally. But for the alien students, the experience had been eye-opening. At the start of the course, they had viewed the humans with skepticism, dismissing them as technologically inferior and overly reliant on instinct. Now, after seeing the humans excel in every challenge, they were forced to reconsider. Survival, they realized, wasn't just about having the best gear, it was about adaptability, instinct, and mental toughness. The humans had proven that sometimes the simplest survival strategies were the most effective. As the course came to a close, the alien students regarded the humans with newfound respect. They now understood that Earth's reputation as a dangerous world wasn't exaggerated. Humans had been shaped by that danger, honed by it, and it had given them a natural survival advantage that no amount of technology could replicate. The alien students, who had once prided themselves on their advanced solutions, now saw that true survival was about more than just tech. It was about thinking on your feet, improvising when things went wrong, and enduring even the harshest conditions. The survival course had taught them all a valuable lesson. While technology could provide an advantage, it was human adaptability, resilience, and instinct that had truly set them apart. As the alien students prepared to leave, they realized that in many ways they had underestimated the humans and perhaps even underestimated the power of natural survival skills. The humans, for their part, simply continued as they always had, unaware of the profound impact they had made. What the aliens saw as extraordinary, the humans saw as just another day in the life of Earth's toughest survivors.